And here we go with example 2, but if I've done this right, I'm kind of filming these out of order. There should have been 2 more videos between example 1 and example 2. One of those videos was on the song, the quadratic formula song, which can help you remember that massive formula there. Instead of x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, we go back to last week and the Jack in the Box video, which is why I told you, of course, because it's the song. That's how you can remember it. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We do that over and over. Again, one of my favorite days at school is teaching that song to you, but whatever you do, whenever I say this, don't think of that song. All right, so here's the next quadratic we're going to do. 5x squared minus x minus 1. So when you take a look at it, you're seeing, well, first of all, you're looking at, can I factor this easily? And no, that's not an easy one to factor at all. You are also looking, can I make square roots out of it? And there are no perfect squares. So we're going to use the quadratic formula. We also talked in the other video that the discriminant is the part under the radical sign. So we always want to focus on the discriminant. So we can figure out if it's a negative number, we could stop where we are because there's no solutions. Or if it's 0, we could stop because we know there's only 1. So we're focusing on the discriminant as we go through them. So first thing, of course, is always label our values. A in this case is 5. B is negative 1, and C is negative 1. Most negatives are not impossible, but just be careful. All right. So I'm going to insert those values into the x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I have x is going to equal, here, be careful, negative 1, that's negative b. Negative 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared is negative b times, or negative 1 squared. I'll write it out. Minus 4 times 5 times negative 1. Boy, there's some minuses here. 4 times 5 times negative 1. Can you read that in there? I think you can. So now we're going to simplify. I'll move it over this way more. Negative 1. It's going to be 1. So x equals 1 plus or minus. Let's focus on this discriminant right here. Negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. Minus, okay. 4 times 5 times negative 1. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times negative 1 is negative 1. So we're subtracting, negative 21. Negative 20. Let's go back, Mr. Taylor. 4 times 5 is 20 times negative 1 is negative 20. So I have 1 minus negative 20. Minus negative. You know what that means. It's plus 20. All over 2a, which is going to be 2 times 5, which is 10. So there I go. I have almost done now. At 1 plus or minus root 1 plus 20 over 10, which is 20. 1 plus 20 is 21. So I have, here's my x values. I've got 1 plus the square root of 21 over 10. And I've got 1 minus the square root of 21 over 10. So now I know you're looking at those answers and you're saying, oh God, Mr. Taylor, what do I do now? How do I simplify this? I've got all these fractions, I've got these square roots, and here you go. You ready for this? Nothing. You're done. These can't be simplified any further. These are the 2 values. You can have, that's the tricky part with quadratics. You can have an answer as a radical, as an irrational number. 1 plus root 21 over 10 is an answer, and 1 minus root 21 over 10 is an answer. Now, if you wanted to find the values, then you have permission to get into that calculator and push in 1 plus root 21 divided by 10, and you would get, for this one, you would get 1.8 1.46, approximately 1.46, and you were to get approximately, for the second value, 0.54. All right, so there's another example of how to use the quadratic formula. Kind of an ugly quadratic, but if you take your time and go through the steps, you'll be fine. Okay, that's example 2. Nicely done. You're getting it. You're doing great. You're doing great. 5 minutes. Example 3 coming up.